Good, beautiful afternoon, everyone. Coming to you today from Disney's All-Star Music Resort. We have a standard room. We are in Building 4 out here in the rock and roll section. I'm gonna do a little bit of a room tour and overall look at the resort property for you. You guys know what to do. Grab yourselves a tasty treat and a beverage of your choice and keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside this vlog at all times. I do love stepping into a Disney resort and the first thing you see is your welcome with like your last name. Welcome, Varnum family. And the music playing, I don't know, it just sets the mood even here in a value resort. So I am gonna work on making sure all the lights are on that I want, and then I'm gonna do a room tour. I am doing this room tour solo today because Mark, with the disability challenges and the mobility challenges that he's having, I needed to come kind of scope out the room first before I knew the best route to bring him in. So let me go get the lights on in the back there, and then we will really get into the nitty-gritty of the room tour. The Disney has 3 different resorts in the All-Star category, and they all look pretty much the same on the inside. When you step in, you do have one queen bed that is out, and then they have one queen bed that is set up in the like Murphy style, or you can have it down just as the table. So let's start over on this side. One thing I can tell you is that air conditioner works pretty good. Boy, it is chilly in here, stepping in here. And for me to say chilly, that says something. So that's good work in AC. Then they have your little foodie area, I call it. Now that right there is not exactly a mini fridge. It is what's known as a beverage cooler. So it is good for just keeping some things chilled. My husband now travels with insulin that needs to be chilled. So it would be good for that, keeping his insulin chilled or some drinks chilled, or even leftovers. I mean, it does say that basically it cools to 41 and above. So it's not really the same as a mini fridge, and there is no freezer component to it, etc. This is your in-room coffee option here in these resorts. It's just your basic Cuisinart. So, I mean, it's okay. In my opinion, because you do have the nice Joffrey's pods, I like Joffrey's coffee, so I do find it better than a few other hotel chains outside of Disney property. But no, it's not top notch. It's not the same as getting Joffrey even up in the lobby, I don't think. But that's just my opinion. Still works fairly well. And you do have also some tea packets. So if you want some tea, you do have your sweetener packets, your creamer, your stirring sticks. Also, if you are in need of additional items, you can call to the housekeeping number and they will bring you some more regular coffee, decaf tea packets, any of the fixings here that you see. There also is a bucket to go grab yourself some ice if you would like ice for your beverages. And then there is this drawer, which in some resorts, that's actually where your fixings go, but in here, not. So it makes, for me, a nice place to just toss in if you have any kind of extra snack items or any of your needs, like if you do travel with really young children and you need some place to put bottles or whatever. It just makes a nice extra little drawer space here for anything really, but especially if you have food or snack items. And then those shelves also make for good little additional space if you needed to set your resort mug somewhere, or if you have extra snacks you've brought in, as we do sometimes, especially traveling with a kid. He always wants, you know, his peanut butter and jelly or his Cheez-Its or whatever. Then there's also, here is your trash and recycling. Also trying to remember to get some still pictures as I do this. We are at ground floor too, so that offers, you know, make sure you do know that people are constantly walking past your window. Sometimes that makes it fun because you can decorate really well and more people see it than if you're up higher. But also just be mindful that if you don't want anybody seeing in, you know, because housekeeping goes by here a lot, guests go by here a lot, do make sure you close your shades if you don't want people looking in, because it is just natural human behavior when you're walking by places, people tend to look in. So, but that's our view from inside, looking over at Building 5 and a little bit of woods and kind of the housekeeper area there. One new thing since our stays we did about a year or so ago is they have the, and I'm not gonna say the name because it will start it talking, but they do have the right there. And I know Teddy will have fun playing with that, so he will enjoy that. When we last stayed at an All-Star, it was probably a year ago, so they did not have those. As I mentioned, you do have one bed that is permanent set up as a bed, and then you have the other option that, say it was just you or you and your significant other, or you and a young child and you're only using one of the beds, it makes a nice option. You can always just leave this in table mode and use it to sit, eat your snacks, use a laptop or anything you might need a table for. I do homeschooling constantly, and we always want a table to be able to sit and sometimes do homeschooling projects at. But I will pull it down also because there is 3 of us, so we definitely will be using the second bed. So I will pull that down in a minute to show you. There is also drawer space here. So if you're the type that has stuff to put away during your vacation, you do have nice drawer space right there. Then in the other section, the cabinet doors you open up has your extra pillows, your in-room safe, the Bible. So those areas are all kind of taken up. That's not really for you to have extra storage space. On this TV stand area, it does have a few outlets and a few USBs. So for those of us who have to have lots of charging ports for our phones, our tablets, even now a lot of your Magic Bands need to be charged, or smartwatches, or any of that. This is a good overall nice layout space to put all that stuff out there, or lay down your lanyards or your autograph books, or all those needs that you are constantly grabbing and running off with during your Disney vacation. Also here is the remote to the TV, and we'll get into the TV more in a while. And they do not do daily housekeeping. So here's kind of what it would look like if you were staying throughout, you know, a longer extended stay. But do keep in mind, Disney does still do safety checks. So even if you put out the room occupied sign, at least once a day, somebody from housekeeping is going to at least do a head pop in to make sure everything is safe and everyone in this room is safe. And that is for their safety, your safety, all of that. Looking at the main bed area, that is your art. Now, when they started refurbing these rooms years ago, I wasn't a fan overly. Oh yeah, you're gonna keep seeing me in the mirror. Because as you can see, there's not a lot of other art or color or anything. It looks kind of drab in some aspects. But then again, a lot of us really aren't spending a lot of time in our room. I do like that there's no rug. And then you have this space here, which usually what I end up doing is, because usually with having 3 of us, I need to pull that bed down. So usually I take those chairs and set them over here in this space. So once you start putting your stuff in, it's really not as empty dead space as you think it's going to be. And then those chairs are usually what we end up setting luggage on, or backpacks and all of that. You do have a little cubby hole space on each side of the bed. It's good for, again, if you need to put your slippers or your book you're reading or your tablet or anything, your iPad. They do have in-room phone too, which is good if you do need to call for housekeeping or extra coffee like I mentioned. But even housekeeping, like one time when we were potty training Teddy, he had an accident and housekeeping was so good about it. I called them up and they came and they changed out everything and also reassured Teddy and let him know it was okay and all of that. So on each side of the bed, you have light switches for the lights, but you also have 2 regular outlets, 2 USBs, and I'll show you on the other side of the bed. It is the same scenario, a nice cubby for anything you might need, as well as a light switch, 2 outlets, 2 USBs. The bedding here in the Value Resorts, to me, it's comfortable enough. I'm not overly fussy though. So I always tell people when I do reviews, I'm just sharing my experience, what works for me, what works for my family, my child, anything like that. I cannot tell you whether this would be a good fit for your family. I can just share that, what we experience, and every review I do is a snapshot in time. I may feel completely different this day than I did a year ago, and when I come back next year to review it again, I might feel completely different then. So everything we do on this channel is a snapshot in time. All right, I'm gonna do the bathroom facilities first, and then I will come out and fix the bed. Before I enter into the bathroom though, there is a nice little hook stand here, but I will tell you, they're not very big pegs. So sometimes hanging, sometimes coats on it, we've had trouble, but little like backpacks or lounge flies works great. The restroom does have a barn door style that slides closed for privacy. There's also a sliding pocket door there to the commode shower area. So different ways you can block that off for whatever privacy needs you may have. Here in the first area, you have the vanity, the mirror. There is also closet space here. So if you did want to tuck your luggage, your suitcase right there. There's also a few hangers to hang. And if you're taller than me, that space up there doesn't work for short little me, but if you're taller than me, that makes another good space to tuck out some luggage or something you need to store up there. There's also some shelves over here and down there. So there's plenty of space to lay out all your suntan lotions, your hygiene needs, anything you might need. There is also like a steamer, an ironing board, and a hair dryer, extra tissues, and of course the mirror, the big mirror, and then the really like one you can flip and it's mega close up. Disney does have their own kind of line of hygiene products. It used to be run by the H2O company, and now it just has the Disney label. Same in the shower. You do have a lineup, and it is the H2O products we all used to know and love, but still just with different labeling. And then there is a shelf. So if you don't like the H2O products or you have specific skin needs or whatever, you do have a little shelf there too that you can put your own hygiene products. The tub shower combo in these rooms do have the sliding glass doors. As a mom, I'm not usually a fan of them, but now that he's getting older, it's better. But when you have real little kids, sometimes this can be a little difficult to work with, I will warn you. You'd have little hooks you can hang your towel to dry or whatever. And then for swimsuits, if it's not 40 degrees like it is currently, I'll show you the nice little trick for drying your swimsuits. Also nice rain shower head style. But these things right here, if you pull this out, and I'll show you, it can connect on the other side. That makes for a nice little clothesline. If you got wet on the Tiana ride, or you did go swimming and you want to hang anything light like that, it makes for a good little drying line. Plenty of TP, a waste can in here, a waste can in there. And now I've pretty much shown a lot of it. I'm going to pull down that table now and then get ready to go get the guys. Once I think I know a easier way out to the parking lot that can help Mark get in here. So we actually booked this on an annual pass holder rate right now. So I got this room with my annual pass holder rate at like $90. So your rates will change throughout the year. And if you do have different discounts, whether you're a Florida resident, sometimes Florida resident discounts are better than annual pass holder discounts and vice versa. And there's a lot of other travel discounts that come out, and then there's always rack rate and all of that. So again, like anytime, what I'm experiencing may not be what you're experiencing, but right now at like $90 a night, this actually worked out better than some of the other places we've been staying in the area, like the Drury's and some of those. Voila, we have a second bed. And as you can see, once you get the second bed pulled down, it does offer a little bit additional fun artwork as well. The downfall to these beds that we have found is, for example, Mark and myself typically sleep with a drink next to us. And with these edges, when you're laying in these beds, it's really hard to reach around to either side to get your drink. So just be mindful of that. Probably put the people in this bed who aren't really going to need a drink next to them or their phone or whatever. So this typically would be better possibly for the kids and your family. Also, it does, as you can see, take up, now there's a lot of space taken up in the room. But like I said, a lot of times these rooms are more for your go, go, go traveler, not so much somebody who's going to linger at the resort a lot. So a lot of times these resorts are perfect if you're on a budget and you just want to crash, sleep, get up, shower, or maybe you're the type that just comes back for a quick nap or pool time and you want to get going again. So I still think they're a great room. They're clean. They're comfortable. The air quality in these rooms is typically nice. And you do get all the amenities of being on Disney property, such as Disney transportation, dining plan, and a lot of those others. So that's kind of do it for the room tour, but stay tuned. I will also be cutting a video that is the grounds tour. I do usually like to separate them out just for timing and space. Plus, I want to include Teddy in a lot of the grounds tour. Mark will pretty much be in the room. Due to his healing process he's going through now, I'm probably going to get him cozied in on that bed, and he's probably going to be in this room for the next 3 nights with me just bringing him food, just to be honest and upfront about our situation right now. However, Teddy and I will be bouncing around the property, and then we will get you plenty of video of the rest of the resort. Peace and love, gang. Keep adventuring, and hey, well, I just told you what you're going to see next, but normally I always say you never know where you'll find us next.